This is a complete mess. Got a lot of stuff here. And just inside of here, well, this is a gutted barn. It is empty, it is cleaned out, wall's gone, and there's a lot of things to do. So let's talk about why. Whoa, Mr. Speedy. The sun is on its way down. We have a problem. Where does this guy go? So he's got to be ahead. He's got to be in front. Anyways, we have a bit of a problem here in BC, and probably, well, across North America. There's going to be a hay shortage. It's very, very likely. Now, the reasons are multiple. One, a lot of fires. Two, it's really dry, so drought conditions. Three, in some places there's too much rain. It's causing a problem. But mostly it's the fires and drought. So, talking to a couple of hay guys, hay suppliers, and prices are going up for sure. They're already going up. And as a provider of boarding and training, anybody who does or even has their own horses, we're always thinking a lot about how we're going to make sure we have enough food. So as you guys know, if you're new here, well, this might be new, but if not, this barn here is dedicated. The whole upstairs is dedicated. I don't know if I can make this reach there. That space there is dedicated to long-term storage, and this space here is dedicated to getting the hay bags done, and we sort of bring a bunch down. There's a hatch in the back, and gotta dump the hay bales down. We stack these in here for I guess what we would call short-term storage, because it's not going to last very long. What are you doing? What? Zeus, come here. Zeus, you can't hear me. Zeus. It gets high-pitched sounds, not too bad. There we go. Wow, jeez. He's not so good with the low-pitched sounds anymore. Takes a lot to get his attention. You're gonna clap. Anyhow, so as providers of boarding or training, or got your own horses, keeping a supply of hay can sometimes be a bit of a challenge. And this year and early next year, or mid next year, is going to be quite the challenge unless, I guess, something happens. The other aspect that we have to think about is that there are plenty of cattle out there that would generally be out on a range somewhere, and that range could possibly be in a mountainous kind of area or a tree kind of area. And the fires that we've got here in BC are causing all those ranchers to bring their cows in at a risk of either being stuck in the smoke or literally being burnt to death, but mostly smoke inhalation and lack of water, obviously. So the ranchers are bringing all their cows in as well. So now they have to feed them rather than having them be out on the range. So that is also taking from the supply that would normally go elsewhere or go into storage for the continued year. So to get to the point, this little barn here, I don't know if I've ever really I think I've done a few stories here about this place, but when I bought this place, both of these buildings, these outbuildings, were here. There's the larger barn with a little bit of a storage workspace, and then there's this small, whatever this is. This was in pretty bad condition. It still is in kind of questionable condition, but it's dry, and when I put some doors on, then we'll also be able to keep it a little bit drier from not having the wind and stuff come through. But currently it is used for storage of tools and junk, old fencing, some tarp that I'd used, whatever's in the corner, half a wheelbarrow, some countertop, post pounder, more fencing, some more garbage, dead lights that I thought maybe I'd fix. This is just stuff. In here is a lawnmower, gas for said lawnmower, empty gas cans. There's a table saw underneath this box and greaser for the excavator. There's some old hay nets. There's a chop saw, snowboard, sled, and various stuff. So the solution, or one of the solutions, is to make more storage space. So to combat running out, the idea is to store more hay. And hay has to be stored in a covered, dry location, because if it gets wet, it will get moldy reasonably quickly, especially in the colder season. So throughout all of fall, winter, and most of spring, without being able to store the hay in a building, we're in trouble. And I'd almost say it's a bit of a crisis. Like, it's going to be a big deal. No matter what, costs are going up for everybody. Not just whining about me, but we're all in it together. All the horse people are going to be saying, you know, where'd you get hay from? Where are you storing it? Can I, whatever, help out or do something or be part of that or something like that? So Zeus and I are going to be very busy, right, Zeus? Told you. Right, Zeus? Well, you hear me now? Hi, buddy. Oh, jeez, you just ran into the camera. What'd you do that for? What'd you do that for? Hey, that was my boy. That was my little dog. Yeah. I know, you're a big dog. Where's the bear? He says, there's a bear for surezies. He's an old dog. So we're going to be working on cleaning this out, and then picking up some alfalfa. Actually, I found some very well, I'm gonna call it cheap, but cheaper than usual. A supplier that came to me actually, and he says he's got to blow some of it out and make room for some more stuff that he's trying to get in. So I said, sure, I'll pick up some of that. So that's what's going to get stored in here. It should do absolutely fantastic over the next at least 4 months or so, while it stays dry and relatively warm. And then it's not going to be long before I put the doors back on here, and this will also be used for long-term storage. And some people might be saying, yeah, but what about the stalls that you use here? Because remember that time? And yeah, I do remember a couple of times that we've had to put some horses in here and they're injured and stuff like that, but we're going to use the outside wash station as that. It's better anyways. It's bigger, it's properly matted, and has access to power and water so much better. So this, and this is really old. This has been here since well, probably a long time ago, and it has been well used. It's got, I don't know if you'd even be able to, this is gonna be too dark in here, but it's quite rotted out in a few places, as you can see. If you don't see that, there are rats that come around a little bit, so we're going to be dealing with that as well. One of these days I'll clean up my tool bench, but the bottom line is it's time to make a little bit more space for hay, and because the solution is to be able to store more hay, or alfalfa. And I've talked about alfalfa and hay in the past, but to quickly go over it in case you don't really want to go over and look at any other videos of some sorts, hay is a legume. It is much higher in protein and much lower in sugar usually than hay, unless it's a low sugar hay that, you know, the tested stuff. But alfalfa can be quite good for horses when you mix it up with hay, especially if it's a lower sugar hay that might not have as much proteins in it as well, and you can still kind of have that roughage while having the rich protein alfalfa as well. Won't be feeding our horses straight alfalfa. I don't recommend that personally, although some people do. Yeah, so that's the plan. And then in there we'll just get it chock-a-block and take it from there, see how we go. But The hay situation this year is going to be a big deal, and I'm sure that anybody who's watching this who has horses or has a facility is probably thinking the same thing. We're all going to be searching, probably. So the best as we can do for here. Costs will be incurred, unfortunately. Shared across a few people. As you know, there are 3 boarders here currently, and then I've got the 5 of my own, which will hopefully go down to 4 once I get back into daily training with Mr. Wild. And that's it. That's sort of the news right now. So I'm going to get started on this and and clean it out, fix it up a little bit, make sure it's tip-top, and we'll get on. There's a squirrel arguing in the tree. Oh, he stopped. Anyways, and get on with this idea that we're going to store more to last longer, and hopefully make it through till next year. Next July. June, July is when we need to make, so a year. I can't store a year's worth of hay here, but I could probably get pretty close to a third of a year. So bring it down from 4 loads per year to 3, and really stock up at the last stocking time, which generally falls for me maybe February or so. See what happens. Okay, let's get started. Okay, another area cleaned out. As you can see, as I was mentioning, I'd filled this area in with gravel, but didn't make it all the way through, so you know, any mice or rats were travel. Well, they could travel just about anywhere, it doesn't really matter, but this will all be sort of, you know what's really weird is there's a bunch of alfalfa cubes here. A lot of rat poo too. Like that. And so yeah, this just needs to be, I'm gonna leave that. I can't be bothered to take that off. It's not that much space. Give this a vacuum, and then next thing is this wall. It's coming down, so this will be one big open area. Should be good. I forgot the wheelbarrow was under there. Oh well. Okay, this wall is removed. That makes for a very large space. It's good. Okay, probably gonna need some help getting this out, so I'm gonna call it a day till tomorrow. Yeah, so see you guys tomorrow, or in the next part of the video. So it's early morning, finished late last night, 10:30 or something silly. There is a story for so many of these things in here, like sled and the 2 sleds and the snowboard, something we used in wintertime fun with the horses. Snowboard's my old snowboard from so long ago too. Anyways, hay nets, bought a pile of these things, it's just in a box, and I only needed 2 of the hay nets out of there, and the rest of them are these huge hold. I don't know how anybody would even look at this thing. That's not a hay net, it's a soccer ball net. Except you carry swings from swing set. I thought I might make another swing set. I didn't. Old top of a fireplace. Water jugs that I got from a friend who gave me a bunch of stuff when he got out of horses. Fencing everywhere, obviously. These things were originally here. They're actually racks to shelving for a warehouse or grocery store. I think the previous owner left these things. Wood, cedar siding he also left, which I've sided almost every building here with. Again, the countertop and stuff. Anyhow, okay, junk everywhere. But I did get the wall completely out, stood it up, and now it's so heavy though, it needs to be chubby chopped in half. But wow, I got room cleaned up in here. This is actually it's not, I mean, I don't know about putting horses in here, but for much purpose other than medical. But look at this wall though. Yeah, it's fallen off of the foundation clearly, or maybe not fallen off, never was on, because there are blocks here that this post sits on. But I don't really like it. I'm not a big fan of it, and it needs to be resolved, I think. I don't know if anybody's going to remember any video of this, but hello Luke. What's up, buddy? You look pretty good. This wall here was completely rebuilt. This little pony wall we put in, it goes all the way around to the other side. A brand new wall was put on, and that siding that I was just pointing out was put here, here, and then this was going to be done at another time. So that was done quite well. This is my opening for my window. They're solid again, held up, and all the way over to there. And then this was sort of squared up. This wasn't very square, and again sided. So I think I've got to do the same thing here. I think that what needs to be done is, gosh, it's dark in here. Yeah, for the camera. Is some kind of pony wall should be built all along here. It doesn't know what I'm going to do about this. Anyhow, muddling around. At the very least, this side of the barn needs to be held up on something other than what it's being held up on. And so yeah, so the back wall for sure. I'll get that standing up straight, tie it into the rest of the structure, hold up the roof. Either way though, it's dry in here. It's a good place to store hay. All right, Luke, day number 2 of this build. Yes, my friend, you are a good horsey. A couple flies though, maybe we'll spray you down a little bit. Hey, hello, hello. He says, I love a good scratchings. Manners. It's early morning, everybody's waiting on food. Should probably get them fed, get on with the projects. Got lessons today, all kinds of things to do. Hello, Nana. Yes, I know you're always looking for a refill. Lena, neighbors are going crazy today. I don't know if you can hear it. Working hard with their excavator. Okay, so let's get on with this, and we'll continue to get the hay storage situation figured out. Get on with some other things. So the next step is to build the walls and repair this small little barn, because we've got to get some material in here. First thing to do, had my thinking chair in here, and I've been doing some thinking, and I've measured. We've got about 10 feet. It's not quite 10, it's actually 9 and something like a half. This length is 19 feet, and then it's another weird 9.5. It's an odd shaped space. Either way, I've got to make a pony wall. We've got to get a proper wall. We've got to re-support this roof and build it back up a little bit. I've got to get a nice level pony wall all around, because whatever's gone on here, it's sunk, it's cracked, wasn't reinforced with metal or rebar. It's just how it goes. So we work with what we work with, and I've got this mess to deal with because we've already been out to the hay supplier, and right now it's suppliers are trying to get rid of last year's hay as fast as possible. We got a smoking deal. I'm talking a good deal on some, if you could smell this stuff, woo-wee, alfalfa. And the reason it's going kind of cheap is, or at least so he says, is that you can see this stuff. It's good stuff. It smells good too. It's really good. No, I don't think every single bale is perfect, but quite a lot of them are. But it's going cheaper because it's actually, and if you are a, if you're not into horses and you're just watching this because you like watching it, this would never occur to you. But when the bales are packed like this, they're quite loose and they sort of fall apart real easy. They're not efficiently packed, so they'll use up more space. And when you go to kind of move them around, they fall apart and stuff goes everywhere, and it's a real pain. But mostly, actually, it just takes up more space, and we don't want stuff to take up more space. We want stuff to take up less space, and they make some hay that is really super compressed. That stuff is the least compressed I've ever seen in my life. If you take a look at our normal hay, we can see here that these come off in these chunks, you know, like these big flakes, and you know, they are solid. These are tightly packed, well packed, or bound hay bales. So the alfalfa is not, so he's letting it go for cheap to get the heck out of there. So we picked up a bunch. Let's turn the light off. Picked up a bunch to get as a supply for later, as I already explained. So that's it. The next step is to build. So I'll walk you guys through that if you're interested in the next part, if you want to watch that. Overall, things are fine other than this mess and having to rebuild this thing. I really wish I didn't have to do this. This is kind of one of those things where you're just like, I don't need extra work or extra things to do or extra money to spend. Here's the wall, actually. I had to cut it in two, otherwise we never would have got it out. It's super thick. I'm going to cut these nice, and we're going to use them as platforms to train with the horses. Recycle everything you can. Horses are great. Place is great. Otherwise, tomato plants are great. Anyhow, we're going to carry on with that today, and I will do a second part because this video has probably already been a bit long. So hopefully I get this right. Lots of things to think about. I don't really like building, rebuilding, fixing structures, especially old structures. It gets you worried, but we shall muddle our way through it. And here is the result of the wall falling on this thing. It got a little crushed, just a little crushed there, and it doesn't steer straight anymore. And anyways, I need a new wheelbarrow. It's another $100. Okay, we're gonna get on with it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching as always, and I hope you guys are having a better day than me. Although it's not a bad day. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Gorgeous. Okay, till the next one.